Hello, friends. I'm going live on Instagram and also recording for my YouTube channel. If you haven't been over and checked out my YouTube channel, where I share all things true nature, the musings of the adventure that I'm on here in Peru, and also a lot of valuable content and educational content to help you through what is a very interesting time on this planet. If you're watching this, I think you can agree with me. There's a lot happening on every level. Wherever you look right now, there is so much uncertainty on the planet. And this video today, this live, is to really share with you my insights into what I'm receiving from my indigenous teachers here in Peru, and also what I'm receiving in meditations, in my own work, and in different lineages that I study about what's actually taking place on the planet. Because if you're just at home watching and you're somebody that watches the news, I feel sorry for you, because these programs, they're specifically designed to pull your attention away from what really matters. Now, there's this age-old cliche, I don't even remember who said it, but it is along the lines of energy flows where attention goes. So, where are you currently putting your attention? If you're constantly consumed by the news feed and you're not watching content that's as good as this and as uplifting and beneficial as this, and you're watching the news feed, even the way that Facebook, Instagram, these algorithms are designed, like I don't follow any news pages, but Fox News, CNN News, BBC News, Channel 9 News, 7 News still comes up in my feed every day. I don't, with my own freedom, choose to look at those pages. So these mother fuckers are putting these news feeds in front of us, in front of everybody. Doesn't matter where you are. I'm currently in Peru. I see the Peruvians all the time on what's called a collectivo. It's like a public transport method. I see them on there just scrolling reel after reel after reel. And most of the stuff that is coming up on that news feed is absolute rubbish. So the news that you're getting is like on a 24-hour news cycle, it's almost like Hollywood shit. So you've got to be very discerning right now. My advice for everybody is to be discerning, and discernment is about you choosing what you're going to subscribe to, what you're going to listen to. Because I know for a matter of fact, as a matter of fact, I'm not going to go deep down a conspiracy rabbit hole right now, but I know for a matter of fact that these platforms are owned by the same people that are wanting to take all of your freedoms away, are wanting to control every element of your life, from your health to your wealth to where you live, where you drive, how you drive. These people want total control of our lives. How do they do that? They do that through these mediums of the news, of things like Netflix, Stan, all of these platforms where these Hollywood movies are even made to control your subconscious. So your subconscious is 90 to 95% of the thoughts and the beliefs and the patterns that are running your life that you aren't actually aware of. They're all predicated on fear, and these, powers that be, the Trumps of the world, the Gateses of the world, the Zuckerbergs of the world, they rely on your fear. They rely on you being in a state of fear, because when you're in a state of fear, you're easier to be sold to, you're easier to be controlled, and the greatest freedom that you actually have in this day and age is to take that freedom back by choosing to not put your attention into these platforms, into these matters. Now, I also want to preface this is not me bypassing that there are heinous crimes against humanity happening on the planet. There are things happening right now all over the world that are unprecedented in every sort of realm or arena, from financial to healthcare to education to geopolitical. All of these different avenues of our life, or the things that form our societies and our structures, are being illuminated. They're in the light. All the control, the manipulation, the coercion, the oppression, the suppression, is all coming to light. And because it's coming to light, then the shadow is coming up. And the shadow is actually showing us in real time, present moment, showing us where we've given our power away, where we've allowed these fear-mongering ego megalomaniacs to take control and to give our power away. Now, this will be a high bar to set for a lot of you watching this, but I encourage you, take some time out to really reflect on what truly matters to you. What truly matters in this one life that we get. Is it building a shitload of money and having a lot of money that could then be potentially taken away from you in a heartbeat? If they bring in the central bank digital currency, which they're trying to do, if they take, full control and have a social credit system where you have to have a digital ID, and if you want to access your money and if you want to, be an active member of society, they've got full control of you. So be really deliberate and discerning of what's important to you in this life. Is it money? Is it time? Does some of that money buy you time? How big a house are you living in? How many cars do you own? Your boat? How many holidays are you going on a year? What is truly important to you? Not what society's telling you is important, not what somebody else is telling you is important, certainly not me. But in this day and age, where your attention is being placed is where your energy is going. So if you're constantly focused on need more money, need more money, need more money, want more money, want more money, want more money, want more things, want more things, want more things, that is where your energy is going. And in my opinion, this is your vision. If that's the lifestyle you're living, that is your vision. You're not seeing the abundance of nature all around you. You're not witnessing the special moments with your children. You're not feeling alive and joyous because you're not putting yourself out into the world and actually experiencing life. So, right now is a great time to come back to the drawing board of why you're doing what you're doing, why you're living your life the way that you are, and where are you giving your power away? Where is your attention going? And I'm guilty of it too. I'll occasionally end up reading somebody's post on Instagram that seems to be well articulated and calculated, but it's still talking about these things that are happening that really actually, in all honesty, do not and cannot and will not impact my peace because I will not allow them to, and I will choose my own path. I will choose my own destiny. I will choose where my attention goes. So let this be your reminder. If you're somebody that is constantly in the newsfeed, is constantly watching mainstream media, is constantly getting involved in the geopolitics of the US and Iran and Gaza and Israel and anti-Semitism and all of these different topics, is that making your community a better place? Is that making your home a better place to live in? Is that making your children feel loved, seen, and supported by you trying to solve the world's geopolitical problems? Is it actually, if you be really honest with yourself and you sit with it, is it actually going to seriously affect the quality of your life and the outcome of your life and your destiny here if all of your money was taken away tomorrow and you had to go back to living on the land with some friends and raising some animals, growing some food, learning how to live off the land? Is it really that fucking scary if all of your money is wiped off the floor? Is it really that scary if you could never fly overseas again? Is it really that scary if this big orange Jesus looking, man is trying to take over the world? When, for me, the reason I was inspired to share this video today is in the Sacred Valley of Peru in the Andes, 3,500, 5,000 meters above sea level. I'm so far removed from all of this stuff. When I was back in Australia, it was on the news everywhere I went. One of the things that really took me by surprise was whenever I went to the gym. I was in Broome up north in Western Australia for a period of time. I was in Perth for a period of time. I was in Melbourne for a week. Whenever I went to the gym, what's on the TVs in the gym? Like, what do you think would be on the TV at the gym? Where would you want your attention to be while you're doing a workout? Every time I would glance up at the TV, it was Sunrise, it was CNN, it was the Channel 9 news, cycle. It was a constant news cycle. It was a constant pattern and program of this is what's fucked up with the world, this is what's going wrong, this is who's bombing who, this is who's threatening who, this is, who's going to take your power away, this is who's oppressing who. It's honestly like a Hollywood movie. Where are these people? Do they sleep? I was meditating on this yesterday. I was like, does Donald J. Trump sleep? How could that man possibly have a good night's sleep? If he is doing the work that he's doing and he's not just a puppet and he's not just showing up on the TV and doing all the things, like, how could he actually sleep? He would have that much on his mind. And so, what I think is really starting to happen, and we're starting to sort of reach a crescendo, and I don't know what that looks like, is everyday people like you and me are waking up to this hypnotic program that we have grown up in. Disney movies, TV series, music. There have been so many things that have been planted in our awareness to control us, to make us consumers, to make us obey, to make us stay in line, lock, check, one step after the other, and to not stray away from the way that society wants us to be. So, in like today, March 2026, I think by June 2026, we're going to see some sort of climactic event. What I would love for all of you to be doing, it's really simple, every day is to sit and really intentionalize peace, love, and all the good things on the planet because we are consciousness. We are a part of the one consciousness. And right now, there's a battle going on, between both sides, dark and light, narcissism and empaths, people that are awake, people that are asleep. Doesn't matter. We are only as strong as our weakest link. So if you're putting your attention on the things in your life that matter, family, nature, nourishing your body, the most radical thing you can do right now to say this to the program that's happening, to the system, to them trying to, collapse the financial system, whatever happens, happens. The most radical thing you can do right now is take immaculate care of your physical body, nurture yourself, working out, drinking lots of water, getting lots of sleep. Because when you have that life force energy, that vitality, you are unstoppable. You are unshakable. Nobody can take that away from you. If you don't have your health, you're fucked. Okay? So it doesn't matter about wealth, health first, relationship second, wealth third. With that, you are creating a frame, you're creating a structure, you are creating a human being that can tolerate and can overcome adversity. Doesn't matter what comes our way by staying focused on, clean food, good sleep, quality water, and great connection with people. And I'd say a fifth one, doing things for others, being of service. You create the frequency that is going to uplift our planet into its next stage of evolution. And through the work that I'm doing here in Peru, with my teachers in Peru, with friends that are living here, this place is really a powerful portal. It's a very active place on the planet right now for the upliftment of consciousness, for healing, for transformation. And they've prophesized this time, this cycle, in their Andean cosmology for eternity, knowing that we're coming to the end of a long, potentially 50,000 year cycle, could be a 16,000 year cycle. Or if you look at the precession of the equinoxes, it's a 12,800 year cycle. Well, we're in that now. And if you look at the Vedic texts from India, we're coming to the end of, or we're in the middle of the end of the Kali Yuga, which was going to be destruction, death, decay, everything falling apart so that it could be reborn again. And even through the gene keys, which I'm very fond of. And if you want to learn more about the gene keys, send me a message. It's an incredible map of consciousness. But even in the Gene Keys, they talk about the evolution from the fifth race to the sixth race. So we've been through all these iterations of the human being, and we're also now going through a genetic mutation that's happening place within every single one of us. It's unprecedented. You're not going to get out of it. Where whether in this lifetime or the next, the DNA is mutating into a new version of humanity. So the terminology being used is Homo Luminous, which is all to do with light, and potentially, and this is going to be a bit far-fetched for a few of you, but bear with me. So you've sort of seen this evolution from, very carnivore-based diet to more vegetarian-based diet. And if you're not aware, we actually are eating anywhere between 70 to 80% less meat than what we were 100 years ago. We're eating a predominantly vegetarian diet now. And the next iteration or the mutation, there are people on the planet that can currently do this, is to actually just be feeding off light, off the sun. The sun gives energy to everything on the earth. Without the sun, we don't have life. The prophecy of the gene keys, or the terminology that Richard Rudd talks about, is this evolution of Homo sapien into Homo luminous, where we become connected to that light frequency. We all become connected as a node in a network, all connected to the light. We don't need to kill. We don't need to steal. We don't need to manipulate. We don't need to, eat another animal. We have everything we need through the light. And some commentary out there actually talks about some of these people in high up places, like they refer to as the elitists, or the higher powers of the planet, have had access to this free energy for a long time. It's been available. Potentially Nikola Tesla was one of the first people to advocate for this free energy. But the only reason that they don't want us to have this free energy is why? Because it's free. There's no profit involved. So without the profit of the free energy, they're not going to allow the masses to actually access it. But so it's a very interesting time. I've given a lot of information here about where we're at, where we're going, where we could possibly be. I actually think in the entropy and the decay and the collapse of all of these systems that are falling apart, they are bursting at the seams. It is like unanimous that education system isn't working, financial system isn't working, the Western allopathic healthcare system doesn't work unless, trauma-based. Yes, if you break your arm or you slice your arm off, you want the Western medicine to help you heal that up. But in terms of long-term chronic illness and disease, Western system really isn't doing its job. We need indigenous wisdom. We need, ancient shamanism. We need Eastern medicine, Chinese medicine, and these things have, been tried and tested and proven again and again. So everywhere you look geopolitically, all these imaginary borders between countries and fighting, and all of that's coming up, boom, 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 into the light because it needs to change. And, the thing that is going to happen regardless is that there's going to be a major shift in consciousness that's already taking place on the planet. And all you need to be doing, or all I encourage you to be doing, is, as I've said in this video, and I'm going to summarize here, use your discernment. Where are you getting your information from? Does it actually feel true for you? Try and just tune out from the mainstream media. So the mainstream news, the radio, news feeds that are just feeding fear. That's all they do. Get rid of them. The most radical thing you can do is take immaculate care of your own health. Cultivate your own practices of connection to yourself. If you don't know how to do that, if you want a supportive community, I've built a beautiful community on an app called Circle. The community is called True Nature. You can join that for only $22 a week at the moment, cancel anytime. But you can learn these practices of uplifting your frequency, how to move away from fear, shame, guilt, these very low, low frequencies that this, patriarchal, ego-driven, control-driven program wants you in. Fear, guilt, shame, because you're easier to control when you're in those states. But so through True Nature, you can learn how to come back to that true nature within yourself. You can learn how to come back to that immaculate peace and love that you are. And you can be reminded because there's beautiful human beings just like me in that program. There's 14 to 15 of us so far. We're jumping on calls, we're talking through what we're feeling and experiencing. And I can see a real evolution of many of these, people that are going to serve, that are going to help, that are going to be teachers, that are going to be mentors, great parents. So this is about right now taking radical responsibility. Where your eyeballs are and where your ears are tuned into, that is the most important thing. Frequency is everything. The shift from the Piscean age into the Aquarian age, which has happened in the last 6 to 12 months, um, was all about moving to the waves, the frequencies. So everything's about airwaves. Everything is about, how the frequency is transmitted from person to person. So this is your reminder. Energy flows where attention goes. So where is your energy flowing to? If your attention's constantly on what's not working, what's wrong with the planet, the problems in your life, the problems in your community, that's where your energy's going. If your attention is on how to make somebody's morning, the barista, somebody on the bus, somebody, you pass in the street, your kids, obviously, your family, your animals, nature, where your attention goes, energy flows. So placing your attention on the things that matter, get your energy flowing in the right direction. That is the most radical thing you can do right now. That is the most powerful, sovereign, free, and human thing you can do in a world that is losing its mind. So take your power back. There'll be links below. There'll be links on my Instagram page. There'll be links in the YouTube description to come and check out True Nature. Amazing group of people working through everything through the layers. So there's a lot of self-doubt simmering in the collective at the moment. Not good enough. I'm not enough. I'm not worthy. I want to be able to serve people, do the work that I'm here to do, but I'm not quite sure how to do that. In True Nature, we start to work through that. We start to uplift each other. We start to empower each other. We reflect our greatness to each other. And we tap into what we already have access to, which is our true nature, which is our ultimate power and our greatness. It is infinite, it is limitless, it is unbound, it is available to you wherever you are at any time. And it is the thing that is going to be the catalyst for your own awakening and for your highest service. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, come and check it out. As I said, $22 a week, cancel anytime you like if it's not for you, and you're going to get a lot of value. And I hope to see you over there. Have a beautiful day. And remember, you are love. Everything is going to be okay. Trust the process. And the reason my head is doing that is because my YouTube recording is over here and my Instagram live is over here. So I love you all and have a beautiful day.